stumbled upon this little nugget article. Let me get the article up. So the article is from Screen Rant, and it says Summer House, clues that Paige DeSorbo lives rent-free. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because wasn't one of Paige's storylines, conflicts with Craig was about how she's moving from her apartment to another apartment and what her budget for the apartment is. And she said, it's like around 8,000 and, I don't want to go any higher than that and blah, blah, blah. And that was a huge thing. And he's like, well, if you find something great that's like outside of that budget, I'll do the extra part. And she's like, no, I don't ever want a guy that I'm not married to pay my rent because I don't want to be beholden to him. This is the gag. Paige moved, I think, maybe April of this year or something like that. She moved it like a month or two ago. Prior to that, allegedly, word on the street, she was living in, I think her rent was maybe like 10 to 15K. These like that her crazy apartment in Hollington's worth, either for free or at a deep, deep influencer discount. So her whole storyline about being this boss babe, paying her own rent and all in her budget was a lie because she wasn't even paying her rent. And remember when she said before that she wasn't paying rent when she first came on the show because her parents were paying her rent? So she went from her parents paying her rent in New York City to either being paying no rent in New York or deeply discounted because she was an influencer for the building she lived for. So this is one of their posts from December of 2020. Let's upgrade ya. And they tagged at Paige. Paige on her Instagram and TikTok, she would always do tours of the amenities of where she lived. She would geotag where she lived. I don't even geotag where I live, and I'm not on the level Paige is at when it comes to following, but just out of sheer safety. So basically, everybody on Reddit and on Screen Rant basically realized that she was an influencer for the apartment building she was living in and was living either rent-free or at a deep, deep discount in exchange for promoting the place. So her whole storyline with him about rent was a lie. And you know how she said that her budget was like 7 or 8K? Again, sleuths on the internet. I did not do this. Sleuths on the internet. The apartment that she moved to is 15.5K a month. This is also the gag. Isn't that more than what Lindsay and Carl were paying jointly for their apartment? Remember when she had the audacity to talk to Lindsay and Carl, who had two incomes for their 12K or whatever it was a month apartment, and now her apartment that she lives in by herself is $15,500 a month. But yet on the show, she's lying and saying her budget is 7 or 8K because, I don't know, does she want to be relatable? But again, is she actually paying that amount, or is she doing another influencer brand deal? I will post about it. I'll get your building into press and I'll do Instagram and we'll do that in exchange for a deep discount. She's not the first influencer to do this. There have been influencer housing. There have been influencer apartments. Some of the housewives, I believe Dorinda Medley did the same exact thing. It actually might have been in the same building. And I think Dorinda had to move when she got put on pause from New York, from the apartment she was in. But a lot of these housewives, Bravo stars, big influencers, they get either deep discounts or everything comped to promote. Now, I want to be very clear. By no means am I hating on the hustle. If you want to give me a $15,000 a month apartment in New York for free to post, call me. Link is in the bio, baby. Call me, hit your girl up all day long. I will post, I will tag, I'll do all of the things. Let's do the damn thing. So trust me, I am not a hater. By no means am I hating on her for this. My issue is Why are you lying about it? Why are you shaming Lindsay and Carl for combining their incomes and being like, you guys don't even have jobs? They do have jobs. Number one, they're on the show. And the gag is they've been on the show longer than you, Paige. They are season oneers. So they probably actually make more per episode. If I don't know the Summer House pay scale, but if it's like a Vanderpump Rules where you get paid by seniority, they make more than you do, boo boo. And they also do influencer stuff and everything else. So to shame Carl and Lindsay, and I don't even like Lindsay like that, but I'm not going to just bash Lindsay to bash her when I don't agree with it. You know, if I agree with somebody, I'm going to agree with them. I'm not just going to bash somebody to bash them if I don't agree with it. And I do think that Paige was, and that's again why I said before, Paige is a liar. She's not Lindsay's friend. She hates Lindsay. She only befriended Lindsay this season because it was so obvious that Lindsay and Carl were going to implode and she wanted a front row seat with popcorn. That's it. She hates Lindsay. Paige hates her. And I think she couldn't stand the fact that she was with Carl, a man who had rejected her. She couldn't stand it. So at the reunion, she's like, you guys don't have jobs. How are you getting this apartment? Well, Paige, you are now in a 15.5K apartment living by yourself. Are your parents still helping you? You have your job, so I'm sure you're making money from, and maybe you're getting an influencer discount, but then don't throw jabs at them. They're on the show, they're making money, they're doing influencer stuff. They were talking about it on the show this year about how Lindsay does influence stuff and so does Carl and everything else. So why are you coming at them? And then also, and Craig, and this is, and remember this, because this is going to go into when I get to Kyle and Craig and the whole Loverboy Sprit Society bull crap that's going on. Craig is also a liar because, before I say that, and the reason why we know Paige was living rent free was on, I don't listen to the Giggly Squad podcast. I don't, but people on Reddit do. And they listened to an episode where either a caller or somebody, again, I don't listen to their podcast, I don't know the format, but basically asked Paige, are you getting, your rent comped because you're always posting about your apartment? And she was very like demure about it, very like she didn't really answer it. So basically like a yes. And it's obvious because they're promoting her and she's promoting it. So Craig, you know that. So why are you lying? Why are you guys lying about this whole narrative storyline about Craig offering to make up the difference in your rent money and saying her budget is 7 to 8, but if she finds something she likes more, he'll make the difference? Craig, why are you agreeing to the lie? Because you know she doesn't even pay rent. And I doubt she went from one place that was rent-free to a place now where she's paying $15K by herself. I highly doubt it. I'm pretty sure she's probably getting another influencer deal, which is fine. Trust me, if you are a luxury estate place and you want me to post and talk about it and you want to comp me, call me, email me. Everything's in the description box. No shame. Trust me, by no means am I knocking her hustle. I think it's cool. It's awesome. If you get those opportunities, take them in life. If people want to comp you and they want to give you stuff and you have the opportunity to have experiences of luxury and ease, take them. Take them. There's no glory in sacrifice. There's no glory in suffering. There's no glory in grind and hurting it out. Hell no. If you can get something, take it. As long as you're not hurting anybody, take it. Why not? 1 second. Sorry, I had to put in a cough drop. So if you hear me sucking, it's the cough drop. I've been running my mouth for 2 hours, so a little dry. Take it. But I'm looking side eye at Paige and Craig because it's a stupid lie. It's a stupid lie. Why make a storyline out about the rent and paying, and then she wants to be like, I'm an independent woman and I don't need no man to help me with my rent? Like, what? Like, I'm just confused at why Paige and Craig felt the need to lie about rent money. What value did that add to them as a couple or to a storyline, if anything, when you're lying? And we know you're lying. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, let me put it this way. Allegedly, all the receipts point to the fact that you're lying. And it's a stupid lie. And let me show you some more receipts. This is the Reddit, Paige's apartment. It says, so clearly she's living in her apartment for free or a seriously reduced price. I know in one of the last Giggly Squad episodes I listened to, she acted demure when a listener asked if she was getting her rent comped to advertise the building. She's always tagging her building in post, and now she did a tour today of the amenities. Come on, we aren't stupid. Then the other person says her last place was one of those influencer deals with the building where they periodically tag the place and show the amenities like the gym and rooftop. Talk about an upgrade, though. Sheesh. The other person says, I'm embarrassed to say I already found it on Street Easy, $15.5K a month. The other person says the irony is her making fun of Lindsay and Carl for their $13K apartment. I'm a Paige fan and expenses are a case by case situation, but I love some gossip, but she kind of looks like a dip crap now. A dip S, which is true. You're getting your rent comped and you're lying about it for a storyline that's boring as hell and nobody actually cares about. And Craig, you're co-signing the lie. And then you're coming after people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Lindsay and Carl are getting their rent comped. I don't think so because they don't tag and everything like she does. But you're caught. You're caught in a dumb lie. Why are you making a storyline about this? And why are you co-signing it, Craig? Speaking of the lies, that brings me to Kyle Cooke and Craig Conover beefing over Craig now investing allegedly, or at least being a brand ambassador for Spritz Society. When Kyle obviously has Loverboy, which of course they have different varietals, but it's basically a knockoff of Loverboy with their spritzes and everything. And Kyle Cooke said Craig lied and he has a history of lying. Now, to be honest with you, when Kyle said that, and I'm not going to tell you whose side I'm on yet. I want you guys to guess it and tell me whose side you're on in the chat box. When Kyle said Craig has a history of lying, I thought to myself, does he? Like, I was like, I can't remember Craig really lying. Like, does he? I know that Craig sometimes is very insecure and he would sort of exaggerate and be very boastful and kind of braggadocious and all that stuff. And like, I know on like Winter House, he was a big jerk. Oh, I have this money and you take this money and I got this money, because Craig is new money and he was just sort of being a jerk about it. 1 second, you guys. But then when I was doing my research for this live, I realized Craig is in on the lie with Paige about the rent amount. And that is such a dumb lie. What else are they lying about? You know? I wonder what else they're lying about. That's kind of how I feel about that one. So let's look at what their feud is. I found some good clips that kind of breaks it down and it gives an overall of what happened, and then we'll talk. Hi, guys.
Have you been following the Craig, Kyle, Spritz, Loverboy drama? Whose side are you on? I am on Team Kyle.
Have Bravo Liberty canned cocktail company drama going on. Last night on the Watch What Happens Live after show, Kyle Cooke expressed his dismay for Craig Conover investing in the canned cocktail company Spritz Society, and he basically called Craig a liar. So Spritz Society is owned by Claudia Oshry, Girl with No Job on Instagram, and her sister Jackie Oshry, and they also host the Toast podcast. And so they have been friends with Craig for a while, I guess, and he expressed interest in investing in Spritz. Kyle is claiming that the whole thing was really slimy, that the founder of Spritz Society, Claudia's husband Ben Soffer, took him to dinner and milked him for information about the business prior to the announcement that Craig had invested. And basically, he feels like he was like two-timed. This morning on the Toast, the girl said that Craig actually took Kyle out to dinner and said, look, if you let me invest in Loverboy, I will not do the Spritz deal. And Kyle said no, because he doesn't give out equity, he doesn't accept private investors. If that is true, to then turn around and call Craig a liar on the after show is very bizarre man-child behavior. Also, again, disregarding his wife and her feelings, because this is one of her best friend's boyfriends, and it has to put them in a very weird spot. So I guess we'll see, because these are two very different stories being told.
Have you been following the Craig, Kyle, Spritz, Loverboy drama? Whose side are you on? I am on Team Kyle, I think, in this. I just feel like Craig might have been a little bit shady about it, just from the way that Kyle was talking about it on Watch What Happens Live, and it just feels like he wasn't super transparent. Also, the owners of the business sound super shady for not disclosing anything. I think that's weird. What do you think?
You actually look upset.
Well, look, he has a reputation of lying, and he lied to me. So.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Curtis B wants to know if there's any bad blood between you and Craig, since he recently invested in a direct competitor of Loverboy.
There's really no bad blood, because I think this is being blown out of proportion. I don't really think there was an investment, and it seems like all the press is
the
referencing
front person
me.
for it.
Right. I mean,
Okay, well,
Well, who has a better drink?
I mean, just look at the numbers. It's public information. We sell about 5 times more spritz. So.
Boom.
okay. 5 times more spritz.
And we're not even a spritz company. We're
You heard
that's
it
like
here
our
first. They're not
ancillary
Spritz
product.
Company.
Right.
Look, I wish him the best, but it was the way he handled it, and we don't have time to get into it, what really rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm just trying to take the high road.
Love that.
Okay. Well, you actually, I mean, I have to say, you actually look upset.
Well, look, he has a reputation of lying, and he lied to me. So.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. So 2 things. Why do you think this company signed him to be their spokesperson?
I mean, the founder, took me out to dinner days before they inked the deal and failed to mention any of that and milked information from me.
Wow.
So
Do you
really
think-
shady operation. And then, I think Craig had already signed the deal when he confronted me. And then he claimed that he didn't know I have a spritz. He thought I just have sparkling artees. And I'm like, bro, we launched our spritz line 1.5 years before this company.
Okay.
And it was just like the whole thing. I was just like, man, first of all, it's not a rivalry if you're not doing anything. Like they're basically riding you for your Instagram, and then all the articles that come out are about Loverboy,
Right.
about his involvement. It's just
that
like
company may be failing, and they're like, we need to put a famous face on here to like hope.
I mean, they already have a big following, so if they couldn't do it, without him, are they going to be able to do it with him? I don't know. I don't wish anybody ill will, but like the way they went about it was really rubbed me the wrong way.
Does Craig have a reputation for lying?
Well, I think that's what I've been told, and he kind of like.
What's worse, lying or not saying anything? Because it kind of.
Well, my whole thing is like I've literally launched products. Like we launched our espresso martini while we were filming Winter House. He knows we don't just do teas. Like he was there. He's had all these products.
Right.
So don't tell me you thought we were just a tea company.
You thought you were a tea company?
Yeah, he was like, oh, I thought you just do sparkling artees. And I'm like, what?
Right.
Like, if anything, the company that you just invested in took a page out of our book and launched a copycat 1.5 years later.
What do you think?
Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of the beef. If anybody watches it on the replay and any of those clips don't play, it's because I had to take them down for copyright. Legally, I'm allowed to use them, but if somebody asks me to take it down, I will. So there's that. But you guys are watching live, so the people who live got to see all the clips. So that's basically what happened, right? Kyle, as we know, has Loverboy. They have different varietals from tea to espressos to spritzes to all of that. And that's like Kyle's baby, Loverboy, Loverboy, Loverboy. Craig, who's supposedly a good friend, Amanda and Paige are supposed to be best friends, now then goes and invest perhaps, but at least is doing, press and being a brand ambassador for Spritz Society, which is a spritz by those girls from The Toast. I don't listen to The Toast. I know a lot of people do. Everyone's like, oh my God, The Toast podcast. I'm personally like not into The Toast. Let me know if you guys listen to it. It's not really my thing. But apparently one of the girls, Claudia, husband, sort of took Kyle out to dinner, picked his brain, got all of these sort of like trade industry secrets without disclosing to him that he was basically going to make a copycat brand. And so then he went and launches the copycat brand using information that Kyle had given him. And then I guess Craig is saying that, oh, no. Like I went to Kyle and said, can I invest in Loverboy? And if you let me invest in Loverboy, then I won't do this partnership with Spritz. And Kyle was like, no, I don't have investments. It's just me. So then Craig was like, okay, well, I'm going to go do the Spritz. That's allegedly what they're saying Craig said. I am team Kyle because I am team. Wait 1 second, you guys. Anyway, sorry for that interruption. I agree with Kyle because I think that there's more that happened and more went on behind the scenes that Kyle did not say on Watch What Happens Live that gave him that anger, that disdain. You know what I mean? That sort of bad taste in his mouth and feeling like something shady went down. I don't think that Kyle would have said that and felt that way if Craig didn't actually lie to him or deceive him in some way. If the husband from Spritz Society didn't, do him dirty, take him out to dinner, poach him for his ideas, and then launch a copycat company. Like, of course, Craig. And then Andy Cohen, shut up and have sell receipts. Being an investor versus being a brand ambassador, which is what Kyle was shading Craig about, are two very different things. Investing in a company, you could be a silent investor, you just invest money, and then you're an investor. Doesn't mean you have to actually be the face of it. You could be the face of a company and have no equity in it, and you're not investing it. You're basically just a glorified influencer. You're a brand ambassador, essentially, right? And that's what Kyle was kind of shading Craig as. So for me, I don't think that I don't think that Kyle would be this pissed off, this hurt, because he doesn't seem angry, he seems hurt, if everything was done above board. And he's not saying Craig can't go and do his own thing. I just think he's saying the way it went down rubs me the wrong way and left a bad taste in my mouth. And I believe Kyle. I don't think Kyle would lie on Craig for no reason. I don't think Kyle would say, this rubbed me the wrong way, the way it went down, if something shady didn't go on. And I think Craig would be shady, especially when it comes to business and him proving himself and all of this, that. And we've now caught him and Paige in a stupid lie about money and apartments and all of this stuff. What else are they lying and fronting about? You know what I mean? I don't think Kyle would. To me, Kyle seems like a man of integrity. I don't think he would actually care that much that Craig is being an influencer for Spritz. That's basically what he was shading him as. He's an influencer for Spritz. I don't think Kyle would care unless something shady went down behind the scenes and he refused to say what it was. He was like, no, I like Craig. I don't want to get into it, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's like, I feel like shook by it and everything. And then also, people are saying that the girls behind the toast, that they're shady, like they're shady girls and their husband is shady. There's some stuff going on with them. I'm not going to say what it is on my channel because I don't want to get demonetized. I don't want to get any flags, but just Google the toast, Claudia, husband, controversy. Look it up on TikTok. Look it up on Google. It'll come up. And if those rumors are true, ugh. And those girls always gave me an ick vibe. I tried, and I mean, I tried to get into the toast because all the Bravo girlies talk about the toast. And I'm a Bravo girly. Well, I'm really not a Bravo girly because like I rip them apart. But I want to be a Bravo girly. And I tried to get into it, but for some reason, I cannot connect with these women. I do think they're shady as hell. I do think that her husband lied to Kyle. And I do think Craig did some schemy, snaky stuff behind Kyle's back. Because I just, in my gut, don't think that Kyle would lie on Craig. And I don't think that Kyle would have had that level of disdain unless something really shady did happen. So I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. You know, what do you think about Kyle versus Craig? Who do you think is lying? Who do you think is telling you the truth? What do you think went down? Because Craig admitted, he's like, he can do whatever he wants. It's fine. But yeah. Irene says, I thought Loverboy was an alcohol beverage. It is an alcohol beverage. It's like spiked teas, martinis, spritzes. A spritz is alcoholic, like an Aperol spritz. It's basically like bubbly mixed with alcohol as a spritz. So Loverboy is an alcohol beverage, except for the new offering that Carl is doing, like the non-alcoholic. But Loverboy is basically like spiked teas and spiked espresso martinis and spritzes and everything. And Spritz Society is also alcohol. Yeah. But that's a good question. That's why Kyle was saying they basically did a ripoff brand. And what pissed Kyle off was the husband. And this would piss me off too, because it's like anybody can start anything. Do you know what I mean? Like we can all start the same business. Everybody has a lip kit. Everybody has hair extensions. Everybody has a t-shirt line, hats. Everybody has sweatshirts and buttons and what blah, blah, blah. Everybody has everything. Kyle wasn't saying that he has a problem with what they're doing. He has a problem with how they did it. You know, that's what he's saying. And that's where I'm like, I'm on Kyle's side. I think he has a little bit more integrity. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? Should I drop the link or should we talk about Danielle and Gabby? I'm going to drop the link in case